talking because it's a performance. You know, you come in and, well, they couldn't have been any quieter. All the people who ever bootlegged Grateful Dead shows should take lessons from these kids, because I looked over and here's a 9-year-old with her cell phone out recording the music that you guys have, and then she's playing it in the car as we're headed back home.
That's
so
really cool.
yeah, it was really great. We put together, as I mentioned to you earlier, a small video, if you will, a YouTube clip with some of the Afterjack stuff, and I've actually got the interview with the kids. I had talked to the kids after the show and put that up. They made some pretty interesting comments. They liked how you smiled so much. That was a big hit for some reason. They always thought that was fantastic. They loved the cover songs, if you could talk about that for a second. The Lady Gaga song I had heard about actually ahead of time. The Michael Jackson one caught me by surprise. What goes into those choices?
I don't know.
The Lady Gaga thing came about because sometimes when we're just sitting around, you know, just goofing off, we'll have a party or whatever, and we're playing something, we'll pick up things like that. And so we had been playing Bad Romance from, like, I don't know, a bonfire we had one time before. And then one night we were having a jam session on the porch, and I played Bad Romance on the accordion, and we all decided that was a very poor choice. So now it's in our show. And the Michael Jackson was just because we thought people would like it. You know, we wanted to do some things that people would be able to sing along and know the songs, just some things that would make people feel like they could dance and sing.
Well, you seem to be handling all that stuff like real experienced pros. And the interesting thing is the arrangement that goes into not just the covers, but your own original music. Again, back to the kids for a second. The next day, again, my daughter's playing some of the stuff on her phone on the speaker, and we can all hear it. And the boys are sitting in the back seat doing something that just completely caught me by surprise. Every music teacher in the world would love to hear this. They were actually whistling the song and harmonizing.
Oh, cool.
They were trying to figure out the different parts because that's what they had heard you guys doing. Yeah,
that's super cool.
So, I mean, do you have it pre-planned that you know I'm going to sort of do this part and then you guys complement it as you go? Or
no, it sometimes falls into place. More often we sit around and go, okay, what do you want to play? And we just sort of stare at each other for a while, and then sometimes we get frustrated and we drop it and come back to it. But no, we all sort of switch around. We like that.
Right. No, you're very good at it. There's no question about it. My name is Mike Smith. The show is called Time and Space. You can find us at timeandspace.us. We're in the middle of a sort of a YouTube marathon. We're doing a midnight to midnight marathon. We're going to be picking up later today. Mike and I are going to be back on the other end of this trip and doing some interviews about China's moon. We had talked about that with some of the students we were talking to earlier today. We'll be doing some interviews with a couple of different experts. Rob Swiatek, Steve Bassett's going to come in and visit with us again later on, so please check that out. The other thing that you had said that I thought was really interesting the other night was about religion. That comment threw me completely off. I thought that was fantastic. You had said something about how certain songs, when they're played, the more fundamental, if you will, of the group don't think you should dance to that music. Is that the remark that you had made? That was really surprising. Can you explain? Can you explain that to me?
I'll try. At most musical venues or dances that they have around here, everybody knows that when there's a gospel song, you're not allowed to dance. You have to sit in your seat and listen. And so the kids will get up and start dancing, and the parents will just bring them back and be like, "No, you can't dance." So I don't know.
We just like to make fun of it a little bit. Sit down, this is gospel.
Right. No, you got to have a good sense of humor with that. Now, something that's been on NPR for many, many years is Stained Glass Bluegrass. Have you guys ever listened to that show and heard? They go back, reach back into, decades back into some of the best bluegrass that's ever been recorded, and every other song is a religious song of some type. Is that a permanent fixture in the way bluegrass is done? You just expect to run into that? Or did they maybe develop a little independently of each other and religion sort of found its way in?
I think in the traditional music of this region, there are a number of different influences that kind of come together, and bluegrass is going to be, gospel is going to be a big part of that. Mm-hmm. Like along with the ballads and along with the sort of like up-tempo silly songs, that kind of thing. But you're definitely going to hear gospel music as a mainstay of that kind of music.
Sure. I wanted to ask you a little bit about where you're from. If we could talk about that for just a second. Let me start with you, Rachel. You're from around here?
Yes, Patrick County.
From Patrick County.
For me, it's about a 20-minute drive. The average person, probably 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And did you expect to end up at Ferrum, or was Ferrum just a choice?
No, I graduated from Radford University and with a degree in theater, and was looking for a job, acting, and actually landed a job
At the
pretty
Blue
much.
Ridge Dinner
Yeah.
Theater here, right?
So,
And how long have you been performing over there?
the dinner, 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And what kind of shows have you guys done so far?
We've done a lot of musical reviews, and I don't know, what else have we done? Heidi, Steel Magnolias, all kinds of stuff.
Now, Emily, you're an out-of-towner, right?
Mhm.
You're not from around here at all. Where are
No.
you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Potter County, Pennsylvania.
Potter County. Where in Pennsylvania is that? Northeast?
It's north central. It's really not near anything. Like I mean, people around here will say to me, like, "What do you think of down here?" And I'll be like, "Oh, you don't." I mean,
And
this is.
do you feel like you've been accepted by the crowd down here, or did they just pick you out and say, no, Yankee?
I've worked really hard to be from around here.
And the reaction that you've gotten so far has been pretty positive. How long did you say you've been here?
I started working at the dinner theater here at Ferrum in 2000.
Wow.
And then I moved here when I graduated from college. And Mary is from Ohio,
Gotcha.
so she's also from the north.
Yeah, since I'm not going to get to ask her any questions, you guys
Yeah.
want to throw in a comment or two on her behalf, or just say something nasty about her since she can't defend herself? Or?
She said to me today, she was like, make sure you say really nice things about me. So I'm saying nice things
So
about
there you go. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We've met that. All right. Just another couple of minutes here. What are you guys going to be doing next? What's your next? Now that the Hayloft thing is kind of past you, and what's your next maybe goal or plan that you've talked about?
I'm making a CD.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Want some recording time in the studio, so we're going to be working on that.
Right. Is there a studio around here or a facility on campus you can use? Or?
We won a songwriting contest, and we're gonna record some at the what is it called? Shoot. Anyway, I don't know. It's in Charlottesville. That is terrible.
That's right. I forgot to mention the songwriting contest.
Yeah, it's in Livingston. Yeah, but there's a recording studio, and I don't know what it's called.
What was the songwriting contest you won? I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that.
It was at Rapunzel's, which is a coffee shop in Livingston, and we went and sang our Bless Your Heart song, and we won, so we got some recording time, and so it's a good.
That's great. Nothing wrong with that.
No, good adventure.
So I'll leave you with one last question here, because this is kind of an interesting thing I had thought about, and especially seeing the influence immediately on my own daughter made me really think about it. What about the idea, once you get a little further into the industry, once more and more people start to get to know who you are, of playing role model especially for younger women, younger girls that are paying attention? What have you thought about stuff like that, and the impact that might have not only on you, but sort of the face you're going to need to put forward as you deal with any increasing popularity?
Well, we have a little bit of experience with that, with the touring children's theater that we have.
Mhm.
We're already role models to almost every child in Franklin County and beyond. So
Right.
it's actually a very good feeling.
Sure.
Yeah.
It seems like that's an interesting topic, especially lately. There's been a couple of the one person I keep thinking about is Demi Lovato, who had apparently dropped off of tour, after all this wild success that she'd had, and then was brave enough to come out with all these incredible stories about not only things she'd been going through, but abuse and other stuff that she had suffered. And the way that she's handled it, to me, is just a textbook way that somebody should handle being a big star and being a role model like that. So I started thinking about that because there were so many kids running around in here, and I wasn't sure what your experience had been with that. How about reaction from on the campus as far as the other students and stuff?
People have been really positive.
Yeah.
I hear really generous things from students, and people have a lot to say. It sounds like people are talking about it, so that's really exciting.
Are you getting stopped for autographs and stuff like that?
No.
No?
Shows.
Yeah, at
It's
shows.
neat. I went into a convenience store the other day, and I guess the folks didn't know I was in line behind them, and they were talking to the guy behind the counter about our band. So I was like, kind of sneak listening.
I'm sure. Was it nice, I
Yeah,
guess?
oh,
Or
yeah, it
they
was
say
very
some good
positive.
stuff? That's great.
Yeah.
Good. The band is called After Jack. You can find them on Facebook, facebook.com/AfterJack. I want to thank you for stopping in. It was great to get to see your show the other night, and we appreciate you taking a few minutes. Mike, you want to throw in any... You just working. You're working too hard over there.
I'm the hardest working man in show business.
Gee whiz. This guy's going to get his entire paycheck this time around. Great. All right. Well, we appreciate the time. Please check out the video. I'll get you the link for that.
Thank you.
That we had put up, and hopefully we'll talk to you guys again very, very soon.
Thanks.
Good. Thanks for coming up. Time and Space Radio Show, timeandspace.us. Please check us out. We'll be doing more of our marathon throughout the rest of the day, and we'll talk to you again in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.